Austin was kind enough to send me an invite, but no need for that, as we are gonna follow Reynor. Perhaps all the way to the end. As the stream title said, the man went back to back. Can he get his first hat-trick since edition number 11, 12 and 13? When this tournament started, guys, 239 weeks ago, Reynor won the 11th, 12th and 13th edition. That is the only time in his entire career that he won 3 weeklies in a row. Now, Reynor obviously doesn't play that often, but that's still pretty bizarre. That means that it's almost 4 years ago that Reynor last won 3 weeklies in a row. So if he wins today, definitely a strong sign that Reynor is in excellent shape. And of course, Clem is currently in Korea, etc. But winning a weekly is never easy, especially not with the max packs that we have in this day and age, which he did have to play in the first week, did not have to play last week, after max packs lost in a crazy game versus Skillers on Golden Aura and Ghost River. Especially the Golden Aura game was worth checking out. I'm ready for the rematch between Goblin and Reynor. Oceanborn is going to be our first map. They did not play Oceanborn in the WTL Code S. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm bantering a little bit. I was like, oh hey, it's TKL, the Stormgate God. And I let him know we played on letter today. And Goblin's like, who won? I was like, the old man crushed him. Old man got hands, that's damn right. Good luck, guys. Ready whenever. This is gonna be a fun one. Goblin versus Reynor indeed here. That is what we are going to do. And we'll probably just stay with the bottom side of the bracket all the way till the end, the grand finals. From here on out, we are no longer going to swap. This also means that I avoid the PvP party in the top side of the bracket. Before people get angry at me again that I only cast PvPs. I'm a man of the people. And if the people want less PvP, I'm gonna give the people what they want. This should be a fun one, guys. Could it be anywhere near as exciting as it was in the WTL Code S 2 weeks ago? We're about to find out.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
I am really digging his new color. I love the purple. I think ever since my F1 passion got reignited, I just love the color purple. It looks good, it feels fast. In the bottom right side of Oceanborn, he is our Croatian Protoss. I think playing some of the best StarCraft throughout his entire career. The boy has always been talented, but to be honest with you guys, he's just lazy. And because he's lazy, I don't think he quite got everything out of his career so far that he could have been able to get out of it. But perhaps he feels that it's now or never, and that's why we're peaking. It's Goblin. Because before he knows it, he's an old man just like me. And then it's hard to keep up with the kids. In the top left side of Oceanborn, we're looking at the main base of the man who's already 22 now as well. Didn't it just feel like yesterday that he turned 16 and he was finally able to compete in the ESL Pro Tour? If you guys remember, his first ever event in the ESL Pro Tour offline was the DreamHack Masters Valencia. Reynor won 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 in his first group stage, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 in the second group stage, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 in the third group stage, 3-0 in his first round of the playoffs, and then he ran into the guy that everyone is talking about. And I'm not talking about Clem, I'm talking about Jonah. And Serral back then said, not yet young man, and defeated a 16-year-old Reynor 3-0 in the quarterfinals. A little bit of StarCraft 2 memory, or history for you guys, in case somebody cares. This is the Italian stallion representing Basilisk, Reynor. And somebody's gonna look that up and be like, that cannot possibly be correct, buddy. Actually, it is. I just remember that I was very impressed that a 16-year-old Reynor would be that good already on his first LAN, even if we all knew that he had a very high level. And at the moment he turned 16, he was gonna be a serious contender in the foreign scene. But for him to be that convincing, that dominant immediately, I didn't really expect that. And a couple months after that, we had the DreamHack Masters in Montreal. And that is where they had a legendary final. Reynor and Serral met once more, this time in the grand final, as Reynor barely lost the map coming into that grand final as well. And Reynor was up either 2-1 or 3-2 when they had that insanely sick game on Cerulean Fall. That's one of the best ZVZs that I've ever seen. And there is no other Zerg on the planet that would have won that game other than Serral. In the end, Serral did win it. Serral went on to win that tournament just like he did for every single DreamHack that year. When is the big tournament for $400,000 prize pool that everybody is talking about going to happen? It's not 400,000, it is 1 million in total. It's 400k for the winner, and that tournament starts in 9 days. The channel, guys, it should be twitch.tv/EWC_SC2, but let me double check that after this game. Or if somebody has too many keyboards, screens right now, well, hopefully just one keyboard. Even though the split keyboard is a thing, don't do that. You guys can double check that for me. If that is where Steadfast and State did the qualifiers, that will be our channel. If that is not the channel, find the right channel and correct me. But that's where you guys will be able to follow the StarCraft 2 action. Starting in 9 days. And Goblin is gonna go for a Stargate and very quick 3 bases, Void Ray first. I personally am not a mega fan of the Void Ray. I feel a little bit tired talking about how I don't like the Void Ray every single PvC. When so many high-level Protoss players do it, you guys can just assume that I am wrong and that the Void Ray is a pretty solid opener. Because obviously I don't know things better than all these high-level Protosses. I just think it's a little expensive, takes up a lot of supply, delays your oracles, makes it less likely that the oracles find damage. He ran into Snoot? No. Reynor ran into Serral, mate. Round of 8 in Valencia. I can Google that easily for you. I'm 100% certain about that. And right after Valencia, Reynor made it into the grand finals of Montreal. You can look it up, but I am right and you are wrong in this case. It was indeed 2018, a great waffle, because obviously Reynor is 22 right now, and 6 years ago he would have been 16, and 16 is the age he needed to participate. I think the one that you're thinking about, Revolver, is when Reynor was only 13 or 14. That was an even longer time ago. That was indeed also in Spain. That's the first time that I ever met Reynor, but that is not when Reynor turned 16 and he was eligible to play in the ESL Pro Tour. ESL Pro Tour and DreamHack had different rules. So, yes, a very, very tiny young Reynor was allowed. Reynor needs to cancel, by the way. That is a late cancel. It's a risky late cancel, but he gets away with it. You are correct in the fact that a very tiny Reynor representing, what was the name of that team? Prophecy Esports. He indeed played against probably Snoot, but that one I don't really remember because I wasn't that close to Reynor yet. And Reynor at that point was just a young kid who was good, but he was not the 16-year-old Reynor that was waiting, counting down the days until he could play with the big boys. Yes, I was talking about 28. Oracle flies into the triangle, activates Pulsar Beam. Pretty solid start here by Goblin in the end, guys. So for all that talk about me not liking this Void Ray, the Void Ray and the 2 Oracles are actually doing pretty solid. They get a cancel on the 4th, and even if it's a little bit later, they do find some good eco damage. Reynor has a skip. Well, he has a Roach 1, but he hasn't really done any Roach production yet. He does have Roach speed on the way, and he's now just firing up a bunch of Hydras. Actually, pretty damn strong start by Goblin. As Reynor is now building a lot of units, guys, of 66 drones, and it's starting to look like he's just sending it. Reynor with an old school Roach Ling Hydra sent. Maybe we get a Ravager or 2. We're not gonna get Banelings. I don't think we're gonna drop an Infestation Pit anytime soon. Reynor is all in Goblin here, who's up 7 workers. If Goblin knows that this is happening, guys, just double Immortal immediately. Cannon, battery. Reynor does drop an Infestation Pit and fires up a drone. Maybe more now, but this attack is committed. This is an important moment for Reynor. And I want to say I don't really believe, but I should always believe in Reynor, as that cannon, by the way, gets killed immediately. Zerglings show up at a picture-perfect moment at the 4th base. Goblin was not quite ready to defend the 3rd and the 4th base yet. Yeah, this is actually a pretty cool attack by Reynor. And I think he's already finding enough damage, but at this point Reynor wants more, because he knows that retreating against Blinkstalkers is difficult. So you may as well just go for it and try to take the best possible fight, but in range of battery overcharge, you don't really fight great fights. I mean, obviously we love everything that Reynor did at the 4th base. What he's doing over here at the 3rd base is somewhat questionable. Kills 10 probes, a cannon, a pylon, a nexus. loses a lot of roaches. EWC is the biggest StarCraft event ever, yes, prize money wise. Some of you guys may say like, oh, but I think that this or that event was more prestigious. Whatever BlizzCon, whatever MLG you may think of, or GSL Code S, which I would always disagree with. But when it comes to pure prize money, the EWC is the biggest StarCraft tournament in history. Bigger than any Katowice or BlizzCon we've ever had. As Reynor is looking for a Zergling run by, he's keeping Goblin busy, and he does get another cancel on the 4th base of Goblin. And Goblin, of course, does still have a strong economy. He's got Storm, he's got double Robo, and he's even dropping a Fleet Beacon already. But it is now becoming a bit annoying that the man who went up to 4 bases so freaking early is now still stuck on 3. That is not what he's looking for. Is it EWC_black? Okay, that's a weird channel name. But I guess that is where you guys can watch the Esports World Cup. I wonder why. I don't know. Obviously, if you guys are following literally anybody on Twitter in the StarCraft 2 scene, it doesn't have to be me. I'm not that interesting to follow. I never tweet. But whether you're in a Discord or you just take a look at the StarCraft 2 directory, in 9 days from now, it will be hard to miss. EWC_something. That's where you guys can watch the StarCraft tournament. Does anyone here think Stormgate is going to replace LC2? There is a good chance that if you ask a large group of people, it does anyone? Yes, at least someone thinks so. For me, the games are very, very different, so it's hard to say that they're really going to replace one another. What could become interesting though is like which game gets selected for the future of stuff like the Esports World Cup. Yeah, I think it's hard to say, only time will tell. I'm sure you guys have your say, I will have my opinions, but only time will tell. As Reynor is here with his first few lurkers, there is an Oracle to drop a Revelation. Goblin is doing a pretty good job, I think, in being patient, dropping some good storms. He feels that his Immortal count is high enough right now to go forward, get on top of these Immortals. And is Goblin right? It is definitely a close battle. Don't shoot at the Queens, you need to be shooting at those lurkers. Not a bad fight by Goblin, but that was all of his High Templar energy. He's now more basically everything that he had into Archons. And the Queens did a really good job there in soaking up a couple of these powerful shots of the Immortal. Immortals deal 50 plus damage with +2. I think they deal 60 damage a shot on lurkers. But if they shoot at Queens, they do a whole lot less. And now everything is so clumped up and Goblin's army just melts. I think Goblin thought that there were like 1 or 2 lurkers there, but it was a little more than that. We were looking at 8-9 lurkers. Those Immortals got obliterated, and it looks like game 1 is gonna go to the Italian Stallion, who was definitely committed with his first attack. The Roaches, the Lynx, the Hydras of 66 rounds, but Reynor continues to do what he has been doing in every single game that we've seen of him lately. And that is look impressive. Look impressive, fast, sharp. He's got strong timings and good transitions. Well done. Thank you to Chodder for gifting a subby to Hey Akti. I appreciate that. Actually, I don't think anybody knows yet Nostra Beefs. But I assume it's going to be basically around like 11, 12 every single day. And we're talking CEST, so Saudi time is +1. So that means that if you live in the East Coast in America, I think most games will start around 6 a.m. and they will go all the way to like 3 p.m. If you live on the West Coast, I think the EWC days will probably start around 2, 3 a.m. and then there will be action until 1 p.m. give or take. And game 2 between these two gamers will be played on El Cyone. That is the map that Goblin did manage to win over Reynor. You really love SC2, so I hope not. But I don't think you're alone in that regard. So I personally think the future of RTS is exciting, and I think you guys know by now, and some of you guys may even get sick of me saying it, that I really love Battle Aces. But Stormgate is growing on me. I see what they want to do. I have had fun playing it. I am eager to learn more. But I don't see either of those two games, no matter how fun I think they might be, as a replacement for StarCraft 2. But one thing that is undeniable, and whether we like it or not, guys, is that StarCraft 2 gets incredibly little to none support of Blizzard right now. And that's not very appealing for third-party tournament organizers. Why would they want to invest a lot of money in a game that gets no developer support whatsoever, with, unfortunately, a dwindling player base? Because for a lot of casuals, StarCraft 2 right now is a shitty experience. The game itself is great. The experience you get on Battle.net, let's be honest, it sucks. Fucking dickhead barcodes, racist usernames, people talk shit all day, non-stop smurfs, bronze to GM, including my grandma's doing it. Like, it's these are problems that are hard to ignore. No matter how good of a game StarCraft 2 is, we can't pretend that none of that is there and that none of that won't have an impact on the future of this game. But only time will tell. There's always a chance that people at Blizzard wake up and realize that this is still a game they own. It's a game that people enjoy. It's a game that people enjoy watching, and that they can do stuff with it. Fingers crossed.
Round 2. Fight!
Top right side, taking the 1-0 lead, but now we're back on that map, where we did get A-moved by Carriers 2 weeks ago. Have we learned from that video game on Alcyone? Taking the 1-0 lead, he is the back-to-back champ of the ESL European Weekly, Reynor. Bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of our Croatian Protoss, in my eyes, playing some of the best StarCraft that he has ever done. And that includes that top 8 that he had once upon a time in Kiev. That was his best offline performance ever, but he basically did that with a bunch of Zealot Immortal all-ins, the Marjorie build as they called it. That was fun, impressive, great run, but now he's a much more complete player. He plays more difficult styles, he plays late game, he's honest, so I find this more impressive than the top 8 offline. And representing the Plat Heroes, I think I already said that, it's Goblin. I personally would be okay to live in a world where we enjoy multiple RTS titles. And I know some of you guys already do that. I think there are plenty of people that watch me that also watch Ben play Age of Empires or Marine Lord or Beastie. Age of Empires 4, not really my game. I just never got into it, but it doesn't look bad. It honestly looks kind of fun. And if those guys can enjoy 2 games, why wouldn't I be able to enjoy 2 games? Maybe 3 games even. Obviously, that's not the case, Wookie Man. It's just that they have bigger fish to fry. And it is sad, but... That game confirmed by Roddy people said, no. I have never said that, and I don't participate in that nonsense. Obviously, it would be very bad news for me, because 99% of my time is spent on StarCraft. StarCraft 2 is not a dead game, and I don't think it is going to be anytime soon. But that doesn't mean there are not some real issues that could potentially stop SC2 from being selected as a game for the Esports World Cup or other stuff in the future. But only time will tell. But even if SC2 does not get selected, that doesn't mean that we don't get any SC2 tournaments anymore. What that does mean though is that obviously a lot of esports orgs will move on from StarCraft, that players will have a harder time getting a salary, and that there will be just way less offline events to look forward to. Only time will tell, guys. I don't necessarily know a lot more than you guys. I do see the good things, the bad things, and obviously kind of know what they care about and what not. But other than that, we can all just only hope, speculate, and follow. What you can do is show support to your favorite pro gamer or to your favorite team, or even if you don't care about the team that they're on, show some love and appreciation to teams that do support StarCraft 2 gamers. And obviously show some love and appreciation to ESL or even the Esports World Cup. And I know some of you guys can be like, no! Well, that's fine. I really don't need to hear all of it. I get it. But there are little things you can do. And that does not have to mean that you have to spend money, X, Y, or Z. Just a little love and appreciation can go a long way. Oracle flies into the third, activates Pulsar Beam, gets a drone, forces the second drone to morph into a Spore, but overall clean defense by Reynor. who I'm sure is looking to make a statement against the goblin. That has not gone for the Void Ray this time. It's triple Oracle instead, and pretty quick +1 and Blink. You also play F1 2023? I have moved on, mate. F1 2024, excuse me. I don't think you can really compare that kind of a game to the RTS titles. Racing with a controller is not exactly the ultimate esports experience. But I do like F1, right? F1 is fun. I see this as therapy. I don't have enough money to actually hire a therapist that I do desperately need to survive and make it through every single day where I have to interact with certain individuals, and it drives me insane. Can't afford a therapist, but what I can do is drive circles with an F1 car. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And that is one hell of a therapy for me. Great session. Wouldn't want it any other way. You know, it's funny that you say make Command & Conquer great again. I was just browsing random YouTube videos yesterday, and apparently there was a World Championship in the year 2024 for Red Alert. And this guy had like 300 something thousand views on his video, and I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at the game and it looked sick. I looked at the first map, and obviously I was like, well, I don't know what I'm looking at, but this is awesome. Power to that guy, kudos to that guy, and I think it's really cool that obviously there's so many people who grew up playing Red Alert that they are willing to stop by a YouTube video and watch it. I mean, if a game like that can pull in hundreds and thousands of views on YouTube, who's to say that we can't enjoy StarCraft 2 in 10 years from now? Hero Marine lost the map to Shameless just now. Yeah, that's really not that shocking. I know that Shameless is not the biggest name, but Shameless is really, really good in PvT. That's why I kind of wanted to watch that series, but then I realized that they were already starting, so I went for Reynor vs Goblin instead. Where Reynor is once more, guys, playing with the Spire, just like he was playing with the Spire in the WTL match. But this time, Goblin is not going for that quick double Stargate with a Fleet Beacon, which made it almost impossible for the Spire to be mega impactful. This time, Goblin is just playing double Forge, old school hero style, I guess. Old school at this point. 4 gas, 4 bases, double Forge versus the Ling Bane Mudalist style of Reynor. This can go either way. It really comes down to execution, but if Goblin makes one bad blink, if he takes one bad fight and he gets gobbled up by all these Zerglings, he's gonna be in trouble. Is he taking advantage? Did they host the wrong version of this map? Is he taking advantage of the side blocker again? What a dirty boy. There's an ESL version of this map. Huh? Goblin gets a very easy cancel on that 5th hatchery of Reynor, but Reynor's supply is growing at a very rapid pace. He's very Zealot heavy, excuse me, Zergling heavy, but that's obviously a good thing, guys, because Zerglings are amazing in these numbers against Blinkstalk. It seems like one of the oracles got picked up, and Reynor says, say hello to my little friend, like he is standing on top of the staircase with a machine gun. And Goblin also says hello with a couple of Zealots in the natural. This game is about to become pretty wild. Most of the time this favors the Zerg though, especially when the Pro does not have a whole bunch of cannons and batteries everywhere. I've seen it buy. I'm gonna do my absolute best to participate. I think that will work out, maybe. I thought it was Red Alert too, but I can see if I can find the video for you guys. Legitimately banger video. Just a guy sitting on a Switch channel, donation bars floating around everywhere. $650 for the World Championship of Red Alert or Red Alert 2, whatever it was. 350,000 views. What a legend. Couple of Archons on the way. With Archons, Goblin's army is obviously going to become a whole lot more powerful. Reynor's Mudalist, guys, not quite as impactful as I thought they would be. Baneling speed is done though. Reynor's got 23 Banelings morphing. He's got a couple of Ravagers morphing as well. Can Goblin defend? Stick with Archons in a good spot. Near a cannon and a battery, absolutely can, but he needs to be so careful with these Zealots, because Zealots get absolutely blown up to smithereens if Banelings show up. Oh, I love that force field. It's going to buy a tiny bit of time, but we need more time because we need that shield battery. Archon's coming in from the back. Reynor obviously sees that battery. And he's going to ignore it for now because he's rolling all of his banelings into the Archons, and the Stalk is questionable. I must say that was a tiny bit questionable. Maybe it would have been better for Reynor to just stick around here, but at the same time, he is getting on top of the third base. The BASILISK have tried to show up one more time. They were not very successful. I don't know though, is this really all that good for Reynor, guys? The 19 probes, that's awesome. Killing the third base, that's awesome. I did not like that final forward blink by Goblin. Goblin just needed a few more zealots to justify a forward blink like that. He's gonna warp in these zealots right now on the left side. Let's see if Goblin can save those two stalkers. Yes, he can. Army supplied 75 against 85, but Reynor is obviously rich. Goblin knows that Reynor is rich, and that's why Goblin is playing this very, very aggressive. I don't know if he can really do this though on creep without a War Prism. He has 7 zealots out on the map. A couple of them are here. A few of them are storming in through the bottom right. The Reynor does need to start spending his money. He's got 4 more banelings looking for an adventure somewhere. +2 banelings, no longer one-shot workers, but what they do is 2-shot workers, and if you find baneling connections like that, you're obviously going to be incredibly happy. I think at this point we can forget about that very sad baneling attack on Amphion. Reynor with the saddest baneling attack in history against Skillus on Amphion in the big brain bout. 2 awfully slow random banelings very deep into a game that was unwinnable. Goblin says this game is not unwinnable though. Adrenal Glands is done. I almost feel if Reynor just gets nothing but Lings and Banes here, he should be fine. Because how much longer can Goblin really keep this up? Well, it's a little bit longer, but the Lings are so powerful, guys. With +2 melee and Adrenal, they are just so powerful. If only that Archon and those Zealots were there a bit earlier. How many bases is Goblin on right now? Like 3.5, right? Because he keeps on losing all the probes. I mean, he is kind of where he needs to be. 11 roaches, only a few Zerglings. Is there a world where this one Archon actually gets the job done for Goblin? Reynor might be forced to pull the drones there for a split second. More Zealots come in. It's all the extra units. It's defender's advantage that really shines bright like a diamond. Roaches, Lings for days. Oracle's going to activate Pulsar Beam. What a game between these two. And I think in the end, after a proper battle that went on for like what, 2.5, 3, 4 minutes? It is Reynor who successfully stabilizes on 5 bases, who's got a 6th base on the way, and who's done great economic damage time and time again at the triangle of Goblin. I did that with Command and Conquer, burning the world. My first ever RTS experience was 2 big ass old PCs with CRT monitors sitting opposite of each other in my mom's hallway. That was the first ever multiplayer experience I had, and I thought it was amazing. Archons are dying. Goblin is kind of dead as the Banelings once more have blown up 7 workers. It was close, guys. It was really, really close. I can say that Goblin got destroyed, but the Reynor's speed barely got the best of him. I mean, is there one last tiny little push available for Goblin? He's gonna try one more time to saturate that triangle base. Because he's been losing probes there over and over again, he will actually be able to mine from it for a very long time. Much longer than you would normally expect the Protoss to have that original 3rd base. Zealots and Stalkers, so good against like Hatchery Tech Zerg, Lair Tech Zerg. But Hive Tech Zerg with this very important Adrenal Glands upgrade, it just hits different. And sure, we could get an Archon or 2 in the mix, but Reynor actually has +2 missile attacks already as well. It's not gonna step into a big stasis trap. Once more, it's a bunch of Banelings leading the charge. For a man who has said that Spire is bait and Banelings suck, he's made a lot of Spires lately, and he's finding a lot of success with the Banelings too. Did the Zergs do us dirty once more? Did they just keep on telling us that all their units suck? But when it matters the most, the Baneling is gonna shine bright like a diamond? That could very well be it. The GG gets called, the Reynor gets the 2-0, and will advance into the quarterfinals of the European Pro Tour Weekly, where he's gonna try to win this tournament for the 3rd week in a row. And the last time that Reynor did that was edition number 11, 12, and 13. Almost 4 years ago that Reynor won 3 weeklies in a row. And it won't be easy today. He's got a tough bracket. He had Goblin here. He might get Hero Marine in the next round. As I'm going to take a look at Hero Marine's stream quickly. Can we take a look at these final moments of Gabe Shameless? Yes. Alright. So guys, I'm not going to take a break. Because I know that Reynor plays the winner of this series. Hero Marine always restreams my stream. And we are good friends. Perhaps that's more important than the first part. So I can restream him as well. And we're going to enjoy game 3 together from Hero Marine's point of view. And then we'll know who Reynor plays next.